DeepSeek Harness is real. It is open source. Its architecture is genuinely interesting, and its GitHub growth is extraordinary. But the viral video mixes those facts with three other things: moving numbers, loose analogies, and a sales pitch. So this Meshcast verification asks a narrower question: which claims survive primary source checking? Our verdict is mostly true with important hype and caveats. The product is legitimate, several technical claims are accurate, but free, shared memory, 300 plugins, and MCP only means tools all need correction. Let's inspect the receipts. First, the launch is authentic. GitHub's API says the official DeepSeek AI DeepSeek Harness repository was created on August 13, 2026. DeepSeek also hosts the product page, and the repository is not a fork. The MIT license is real. It permits people to use, copy, modify, publish, sublicense, and sell software built on the code, as long as the copyright and license notice stay with it. So the video is basically right when it says developers can build commercial products without asking DeepSeek for individual permission. But completely free needs a boundary. The harness code is free. Model inference is not automatically free. DeepSeek's API, other commercial models, hosting, local hardware, and maintenance can all cost money. Even the video later admits V4-Pro pricing is going up. And the timing phrase, released yesterday, depends on when the segment was recorded. The repository dates to August 13th, while the YouTube upload is dated August 15th. The strongest claim in the video is the phrase, everything is a plugin. That comes directly from DeepSeek's own documentation. The model adapter, tool registry, session log, and agent loop are plugins. So are major seams for files, shells, sandboxes, skills, subagents, persistence, and the web interface. DeepSeek built the runtime on Cordis, a plugin framework where services and effects can be mounted and removed through configuration. That is more deeply modular than a product that only lets you change the model or add external tools. Still, the car analogy goes too far when it suggests every random replacement will keep driving. A plugin must implement the expected interface. Versions can conflict. DeepSeek explicitly warns that this is a developer preview and that compatibility breaking changes will happen. There is another subtle correction. The video repeatedly names memory, as if DeepSeek ships a universal long-term memory brain. The official architecture talks about sessions, persistence, context, and an append-only event log. Community memory plugins exist, but session history is not the same thing as semantic cross-agent memory. Now for the clearest factual error. The video says Model Context Protocol only standardized tools. That is too narrow. The official MCP specification includes tools, resources, and prompts. It also defines discovery, transports, and client-side capabilities such as elicitation. Some older capabilities, including roots and sampling, were deprecated in the July 2026 specification, but they still demonstrate that MCP was never only a tool socket. A fairer comparison is this. MCP standardizes communication between an AI application and external servers. DeepSeek Harness uses Cordis plugins to decompose its own internal runtime. They overlap at the tool boundary, but they solve different layers of the stack. What about the star count? The exact first 24-hour total is hard to audit after the fact because GitHub does not expose a simple public historical counter. But dated snapshots support the broad claim. VentureBeat reported about 27,500 stars on launch day. Another dated audit recorded roughly 89,000 on August 14th. When we checked the official API on August 15th, it showed more than 110,000. So over 70,000 by the next morning is plausible, and the growth was unquestionably exceptional. What is not proven is a formal ranking like fastest AI project of the year. That phrase needs a defined dataset. The same caution applies to plugins. Hundreds, then thousands, of repositories use the DSH plugin topic. Unofficial desktop wrappers and curated lists really did appear almost immediately. But a self-applied GitHub topic is not a compatibility test. It can include demos, duplicate wrappers, unfinished experiments, and projects chasing visibility. 300 tagged repositories is defensible. 300 working community plugins is not established. The contributor claim is also unstable. The video says 19. A dated launch page showed 22 core contributors, and GitHub's current count keeps changing. Treat it as a snapshot, not team size carved in stone. The one-command setup is real, with prerequisites. After installing a supported version of Node, the official command is npx at DeepSeek AI/DSH web. It starts a local web interface on port 3080 by default. That is friendlier than a terminal-only experience. But a useful agent still needs model credentials or a compatible local endpoint, workspace permissions, and configuration. One command launches the interface. It does not finish the whole operating setup. The interoperability claims are mostly accurate. The repository includes an MCP client, an agent client protocol server, and compatibility code for AGENTS.md and CLAUDE.md instruction files. Those files can help multiple agents read common project rules, but they do not automatically migrate tools, secrets, permissions, session history, or product-specific behavior. And placing the same markdown files in an Obsidian vault creates shared context only if every agent is configured to read them. It is not automatic synchronized memory. The harness is also model flexible, but any model is marketing shorthand. Official docs cover several providers and compatible API formats. Local models can work behind an OpenAI-compatible server. Models that lack reliable tool use, sufficient context, or a compatible protocol may not work well. The V4-Pro segment checks out. DeepSeek's August 13th changelog says the general availability V4-Pro rolled out to the app, web, and API. The API model name stays DeepSeek V4-Pro. DeepSeek also added native support for OpenAI's Responses API format, adapted for Codex, plus low, high, and max reasoning effort settings. DeepSeek publishes major agent benchmark gains, but those are vendor-reported. Two named DS bench evaluations are internal, and harness choices can change coding agent scores. Treat the table as DeepSeek's evidence, not an independent replication. The warning about cost is correct and deserves more precision. On August 16th at 1600 UTC, V4-Pro output pricing is scheduled to rise from 87 cents per million tokens to $1.98 off peak, or $3.96 at peak. The harness is free. The flagship brain can become several times more expensive. The video says a Chinese lab open-sourced what American labs keep closed. That is selectively true. Claude code is proprietary, but OpenAI's Codex command line client is open source under Apache 2, and independent projects such as Hermes, OpenCode, OpenHands, and Pi already offered open agent infrastructure. DeepSeek's contribution is not that agent harnesses were closed until this week. The differentiator is how far its plugin model reaches into the runtime, plus the weight of DeepSeek's name behind it. Claims about U.S. chip restrictions causing this release, or DeepSeek choosing adoption over lock-in, are plausible strategic analysis. They are not directly proven motives. The Agent OS section is also a personal workflow and commercial framing, not an industry standard. DeepSeek can join a multi-agent dashboard, but it does not automatically turn Claude, Hermes, OpenClaw, and Obsidian into one coherent operating system. Finally, the seller's school page does display about 3.7 thousand members and 4 weekly live coaching calls. That verifies the listing, not the business outcomes. Members are crushing it. Automated revenue claims and the effectiveness of the paid system are marketing claims without independent evidence in the source video. Final verdict, mostly true, with important hype and caveats. DeepSeek Harness is a legitimate, unusually modular, MIT-licensed developer preview with a real local web interface and explosive early interest. V4-Pro's launch, Codex compatibility, and coming price increase are also real. But remember the boundaries. MCP is more than tools. Topic tags are not vetted plugins. Shared files are not shared memory. Open agent harnesses existed before this release. And free source code does not mean free, stable, or production-ready AI. The signal is strong. The superlatives are not yet verified. That is the Meshcast verification.